We left off Yud Zayin, Pasuk Yud Zayin. Oy, Heino Malachim. Yikach Moshe v'Aaron Esa Anoshim Ha'eleh Asher Nikvu b'Shemos. Moshe took all these people. We're speaking about, Rashi says, the 12 Nisim, who are identified by name, and the whole congregation, they assembled. On the first of the second month is Aleph Iyar. Okay, 1 second. And they established their pedigree based on their paternal line. The number of the names. So over here, there's interesting Rashi. I mean, Sifsacham is very important. It says over here, what does it mean? Asher Nikvu. So Rashi says, who are these people? Eshnei Mosa Nisim Halolo. These 12 Nisim, 12 princes. Asher Nikvu. So Rashi, Asher Nikvu Lo Kam B'Shemos. They were identified at this moment to Moshe by name. So he says, Lama Kosher Nikvu B'Shemos Sheyadayim Kosa B'Sanosh Meil. It says he should take the what? Yikach Moshe, Esanoshim, it should say, Ho'eleh. What do we need? Who are identified by name. We just finished saying who they were and everything. So he explains, Shadayim Kosav Ha'et, L'chaim Pirush Anikvu Lo Kan. Rashi means, B'Shem Chashivus. I mean, he valued them for what they were, Sheruyin Losa Gdul of Nisius. That they were worthy of this greatness and this princehood. Hepech HaMeraglim, which was the contrary, Shenikru, L'Shem Ganai, L'Shem Sofa. The names we'll see later by the Meraglim, that each of the name already connoted ultimately where they would end up, that they were evil people. Okay? So that's the reason why Shenikvu Lo B'Shem. He already recognized from the names that they were special. Kedisa Medrash Rabbo gets the Marshal. What's V'Yaldu Mishpchosam? Heviu Sifri Husayim. They brought their documents of pedigree. To identify his pedigree with the Shevet. Heviu Sifrei Husayim. What? The people. No. The people. Face Kol Edo. No. Okay, so like you already said that. Okay, good question. It's a good point. I mean, what I would say, because factually, it was a little bit of a chore. They had to count over 600,000 people over here. It's not an easy task. So therefore, V'yikach is persuasion. He had to persuade them. And after he persuaded them the value of this, therefore, they were agreeable. It's interesting. So the Sephirot says over here, they were counted for conscription, as the Ramban says, even though the conquest of Canaan was apines, was miraculous. Nevertheless, we have principle in Somchen Alanes. We don't rely on miracles. We have to do whatever we have, and the way it'll unfold, that's the way Hashem wants it to unfold. So therefore, although it's going to be miraculous, we had to have a standing army. So he says ultimately the counting was for to go to battle. It's to establish their pedigree. Because the merit of their avos will assist them in victory. We didn't get it yet. A person was conscripted into the army of the king. You don't have to check his pedigree, because he was only conscripted if he was a miyuchos, if he had the pedigree. Why? Because the Shekhinah only dwells among the families which have the pedigree. Doesn't have pedigree, the Shekhinah, meaning if there's illegitimacy. That's where it speaks. Ezra brought up the Asura Yuchsin, all the illegitimacy from Bavel, because otherwise it would be uncontrolled. They would intermarry with one another. He kept them separate. In Ashchina Shora Elo Al Mishchos Michos B'Yisrael, there's no concept of Lo Yova Mamzer B'Kal Hashem. A mamzer that comes from a illegitimate pedigree, incest or adultery, he cannot intermarry. Why? Because the whole Klal Yisrael is what? That's the location of the Shekhinah. God has a relationship. But if the mamzer intermarries, said actually, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not, doesn't want to be associated with it. That's Lo Yova Mamzer B'Kal Hashem. I was thinking, yesterday was the first time I thought about this. The Kavanah that we say in Shemona Esrei, Elokei Avram Elokei Yitzchak Elokei Yaakov. So Chazal tell us, Hein Hein Merkava, that before the Mishkan, where was the location of the Shekhinah? Wherever the Avos HaKadosh, they were the location of the Shekhinah. So he was Elokei. Each of one emulated one of his characteristics. Avram Chesed, Yitzchak Din, and Yaakov Rachmin. He's Elokei Avram, Elokei Yitzchak. So therefore that was the level of association, because they assumed his characteristic. That was the location of the Shekhinah. Using fancy words. I'm speaking on a much simpler level. Okay? So, what does the first mean? So what does that mean? So that Rachmim is a balance in Chesed and Din. That is the balance. So that's Rachmim. So I was thinking, we say Elokeinu ve'Elokei Avoseinu. Now, where does the Shekhinah dwell? It dwells in Klal Yisrael. It's Elokeinu because it was Elokei Avoseinu. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose the Avos HaKadoshim to be the location for his Shekhinah. Therefore, he's Elokeinu. It's not only our God. Elokeinu. Elokeinu is a personalization. That's where he dwells. You know, Anishochi b'tochim b'toch tumosam. Hashem dwells in clouds even if they're contaminated. The Shekhinah is Yardu Yisrael leBavel Shechini Moim. Wherever clouds were, the Shekhinah is with them, because we are that same. It's the same concept. So that's Elokeinu ve'Elokei Avoseinu. Why is it Elokeinu? Why does he dwell among us? Because Elokei Avoseinu. And who are they? Because they assumed the attributes of Hashem, Chesed, Din, or Gvura, and Tiferes. Therefore, that's why it's Elokeinu. But again, in Ashchina Shora Elo Al Mishchos and Michosos V'Yisrael. But it's only if it's Michosos. If Klal Yisrael is pure, has the pure pedigree, then the Shekhinah dwells. Then we can be the location of the Shekhinah. But if there's illegitimacy, the Shekhinah has nothing to do with there. Good.
It was an idea, I think, you taught us that when the Jews came out of Mitzrayim, Hashem vouches that there was no intermarriage, there was no illegitimacy.
It's later. That's a different point. It's saying, I brought it up. We find that now Hashem doesn't vouch for them. They bring their Sefer Yechusim, right? They bring their doctrine pedigree later after them. But the Baal Por, by every one of the families, says Hachanochi, Hapalui, right? So we have the Hey and the Yud. So Hashem, what did the world say? If the Egyptians, they dominated their bodies, you don't mean to say they had control over their wives? Mm-hmm. So here they pride themselves in their pedigree. They're all illegitimate. That's what the world said. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu came. He says, I personally attest, Yud Kei, that they're pure. They're the children of the fathers. It's not from the Egyptians. So I asked the question, why over there did Hashem have to attest to one out earlier? Right? Should have attested it now. It seems to be the documents of pedigree, and not only that, According to Chazal, there's a Yalkut, which we talk about, that a Kabbalah Satori, the Goyim, came with a claim. Why don't you give it? Why don't you offer it to us? It's a different Chazal. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, could you prove your pedigree? My children prove their pedigree. If you could prove your pedigree, then we'll talk about giving you the Torah. You're all products of illegitimacy. You're mamzerim, you're this, you're that. So when they heard that, they were amazed. It says, Kamu v'nei v'yashua, quotes the pasuk from Eishus Chayil. They rose and they esteemed Klal Yisrael. They never heard of such a thing. Okay? So what do we see over there? So we see, again, that, so they didn't say, but how do we know? They didn't say that. If we're they're illegitimate. Because there was never a breach of that area. Once Balpor happened, that means, you see, they're subject to what we're subject. Once that happened, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to intervene and personally attest for the purity of Klal Yisrael. But until that breach of Balpor, that area was never breached. As we say, it was Kodesh V'Torah. That area was sacred. It was holy. Therefore, there was never a question. So what he told them, they accepted it. But once they saw the behavior of the Jew is no different than their behavior, right? So then it's not so simple. What you say is, logically, it doesn't make any sense. I was just thinking, before we get to Tiferes, Rabbi's always, harmony, one harmony. Yeah. So I was thinking, it says in the proposal, Moshe Rabbeinu says, when they will say the Shem Hashem Nikra Alecha, they will revere you. And they're going to say things, they'll be amazed, they'll be amazed at the wisdom and the understanding of the Jew over them. But when are they impressed? Shem Hashem Nikra Alecha. What about Jews behave in this area? They breach this area. As much as you wear your tefillin, that's not Shem Hashem Nikra Alecha. Shem Hashem means Hashem dwells with you. Hashem dwells only among you if you behave properly. If this area is breached, Hashem, the Shekhinah is not there. Yep, so it's good. It's Shem Hashem Nikra Alecha. The Shem Hashem is associated with you, and they have that sense. Therefore, it's Yoram Mimeko, therefore they revere you.
Well, one of the arguments that the nations could have used was, yes, we are legitimate, but we didn't know any better, and we are willing to...
No, they're illegitimate. They're illegitimate.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
But we are willing to
You
take out the Torah.
need people who are in war. You need snipers, extra marksmen, right? Sharpshooters. They say, you can't blame us. We grew up in a cave. Our vision is impaired, and because of certain things, we lost limbs. We're not blaming you. But factually, you have no relevance to the whole parsha. It's like years ago. The story goes back 30 years ago. A certain person says to me, the Jews are elitists. You talk about you're the chosen people. You're this. That's what you talk about, elitists. A person is able to get into Harvard. That's what I told him. And a ghetto child can't get into Harvard. So you say, he's an elitist. What do you mean he's an elitist? He has the education. He has the intelligence. He has this. He's qualified. It's not elitist. You make the grade. It's not elitist. It's a fact. If a person could lift 500 pounds, another person can't lift more than 20 pounds. That physically he can. That he's an elitist. It's a reality of his capability. We're called an elitist. Elitist is gaiva. I feel I'm superior. What do we mean superior? It has nothing to superiority. It's a reality of, it's a different being. Right? It's no comparison. What's pure? Putrid and pure spelled with the same letter. Okay? And pure. Yeah. Purely putrid.